Hey guys! So, today we'll be talking about non-profit. In this presentation, we're calling it non-profit, figuring out the best way to go ahead and fit your own organization and ideals to a non-profit status. This status depends on exactly what you're looking for and your financial structure. In this first part, what we're going to look into is the actual structure of the organization, how it should be set up, what are you looking for, and creating the right efficiencies to perform. So, like I said, part one, nonprofit purpose and structure. So, what we're looking into is the establishment and group entity. So, what interests you? What causes? What around your community do you believe can really bring people together to create a civic engagement and create community engagement for could be park recreation, it could be sustainable growth, new economic development, or even supporting and bringing awareness to certain causes. Individual startup, it could really come from one person. So always understand, as this new idea and new organization develops, you want to go ahead and make sure what your entire structure looks like. So, structure. What are you looking into? Well, hierarchy structure is an obvious and efficient way of performing on this. What does that look like? Well, your nonprofit can have a CEO. Usually, nonprofits are associated with the head individual as an executive director. Now, this executive director obviously helps with finding new sources of grants and funding, but also sustaining the program with having the right administrative staff. Administrative staff is like any other business. This administrative staff could be program support, it could be an administrative assistant, but most definitely having a financial person to a business manager of sorts, where all the finances can be calculated and recorded and archived. Aligning programming can be a complementary program, something that comes in from a different angle, of course, around the approach you are looking for, or the causes or awareness you're trying to establish. Or it could be another program that aligns in an expansive support, say of an endowment. If you're looking into the next 5 to 10 years in your own nonprofit structure, looking into an endowment to, create security and the right, per se, cushion for your finances for a nonprofit structure, it would be quite ideal to start looking into that in the near future after creating a business plan and the structure of yours. A government alignment is always great because then you can start developing new partnerships among those that are in office. It could be as micro as your city councilman or a program that really speaks to state issues. Now, what becomes the true blood of any organization and any nonprofit, it's its staff and volunteers. Now, the beautiful thing about staff and volunteers is that we see that they're all based on need. What the needs are of the nonprofit, what the needs are in performing certain tasks and getting through all the steps that is needed in terms of requirements issued by the grantees and or state organizations. Volunteers are great opportunities because what certain volunteers could really appreciate is the stipend support, some kind of monetary congratulations and stipend that could come out of your finances and you could be written into any grant. And or a tax write-off. Believe it or not, there's ways that volunteers can really utilize some of the documentation needed to write off on their taxes at the end of a tax year. Now, once you start looking at what drives you to better the community, to better your environment. Then, when you find and build and dialogue in this community, you start establishing this organization and a group. Once you started looking at what the structure will look like and which role you as the individual would like to play, then you starting to see how the hierarchy can really align itself to become a viable entity. Now, what's the last step? Filing for your 501c. Now, where does that play between the C3 or a C4? What are the financial requirements? What are some of the opportunities? And what are some of the regulations that really hinder some of these classifications of C3 or C4? And what are some of the accesses you granted by having that certification of a C3 or a C4? But that's going to be on your next part. So there we go. Now, we would like to thank you. But before you leave, go ahead and check out our comment box and please leave your answer to our tonight's question. Have you ever volunteered? If so, What type of nonprofit have you volunteered for? And don't you forget, hit that like button and also subscribe. That way, when you're connected with us, you are getting the best content out there around supporting you and your nonprofit. Visit us over in our Facebook and Twitter and website. Those links are going to be right there in the description box. Until next time, guys, see you then.